Hello, I'm Daniel Bay, and in third this video is my third video for my YouTube assessment on SIA, and I'm going to be telling about what I have learned from my science 1105 pace. I'm going to be sharing what I've learned from that pace. So the pace tells really learned so many things, and I learned about the organs of the central nervous systems. I learned about the parts of the brains and understanding the functions of it. And I learned about the sensory organs and some categories of drugs and what's the functions of each drug and what happens if drugs are dosed too much, and also the functions of the blood cells, and also types of blood, what is inside blood, what is blood consisted of, and also to recognize and to identify the organs of the respiratory system. So I'll be mainly talking about the functions and the types of brain, and also the categories of drugs and the functions of each. Brain. It is kind of the most important organ in our nervous system, in our body too. Right? Our heart is also very important, but brain is also very important. So the heart is consisted of three parts: cerebrum, cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. So the cerebrum, it controls movement, and it is divided into two hemispheres, and it controls our spiritual worship. Without our cerebrum, we can't serve God, we can't worship God, we can't think that God is our God, we can't remember His salvation, we can't do anything. Our cerebrum is it is responsible for our emotions and thinking. The cerebrum is very important. It makes us humans, and not same as other animals. And the next is cerebellum. Cerebellum. Sorry. So cerebellum of the brain controls our coordination and balance. So our movement and when we walk, we need our cerebellum. And also it is also divided into two hemispheres. And the last one is brainstem, which is composed of five small sections. And then next I'll be talking about categories of drugs, what kind of drugs there are, what are the functions of each. So there are actually many types of drug: non-narcotic analgesic, stimulant, general anesthetic, local anesthetic, depressants, hallucinogens. There's really a lot. And I'll be telling the functions of each. First are the stimulants. It's like caffeine and cocaine. Cocaine, one of the most well-used illegal drugs in the world. So cocaine and caffeine are one of the examples. So stimulants speed up our body functions. And the next is anesthetics. So the anesthetics are like sodium pentothal and like halothane, like lidocaine and novocaine and procaine. It's like some drugs that I haven't even heard before. So these are the types of drugs which are in anesthetics. So anesthetics are drugs that eliminate our sensations, so we can't feel anything. And the next is depressants. So depressants are like alcohol, most used, and tranquilizers, and like sedatives. So depressants decrease the activity of the nervous system. It can't help us think properly. It can't help us feel properly. And drugs, as everybody might know, that it isn't good to our bodies. The most scary thing, the most serious side effect of drug are addiction. If you start getting addiction, if you start dosing drugs, then you'll get addiction. And then you will there is a symptom called flashback. And if you try to stop drugs, then the flashbacks will happen and it will make you suffer, it will make you painful. So we shouldn't do drugs, and we should learn about these drugs, learn what are their functions, and that how it is bad for our body. But we should know that we should never do drugs, right? So that was what I have learned from my Science 1005 pace. Thank you.